and good evening.
It's the March Box. Welcome, welcome back.
I hope it's not very confusing, the change of the day. We have decided to move Sundays to Mondays
Because we're tired.
because we need a life.
Well, you have a life. But we were just thinking, we only do 2 of the weird ones.
Why should I have a life and you don't?
It should be the other way around. Anyway, I had a good weekend. I had a life this weekend.
Yeah.
You can see I'm sunburned.
Yes.
Yesterday I was writing in the sunshine.
You have improved your human color.
Just looks really red.
What have you done?
We went just Friday night. We arrived. Saturday, Sunday. I was joking. I was like, in our life, a weekend, 2 days feels like an amazing holiday.
Yeah.
We went to just a house in the mountains of Madrid. We took lots of lovely wines. Some of the wines which we'll be trying on this box. El Lince White was the favourite wine of the whole thing. And we just drank and ate, danced, sang. I wrote, I read.
All that in 48 hours.
Yeah, my body is really tired from a drinking and eating point of view, but my brain was like at peace. It's fantastic. So I'm very zen when I came back.
Well, we have moved Sunday tastings to Mondays, so I hope it's not that very
Hope you can cope with
disturbing.
the big change.
We are back to the 9:30 schedule because we have no restrictions now, and for us it's always better to have a little break between we close the shop and we are here online, so we don't have to
Freak out, get out of my shop. I remember, I think about 2 weeks ago, you had a tasting here, and I remember I was in the side room, and I remember you were telling them at like 8:52, like, so yeah guys, if you want to make a move, that's great, I've got a tasting at 9, and then they kept asking you questions like, at 9 o'clock you have a tasting, like, yep, here, live, and like, oh wow, oh tasting, that's good tasting, do you got a tasting here? You're like, you need to get out of the shop. It's quite funny. So now 9:30.
Yeah. 9:30. And well, first of all, before we start with the homework and the prize of this March.
And the prize of last month.
Oh yes,
yeah.
we need to arrange that. And all of that. Happy Women's Day.
Well done, women's.
Well done.
8th of March. This is really perfect timing.
Yes.
Because this wine, fun fact, spoiler alert, was made by a woman.
Yes.
So yeah, it's Women's Day today.
And today is the famous 8M in Madrid, in Spain. So it's 8M de Alejandría. Ooh.
Sometimes
It took us months and months.
We wanted this wine last year, but no, we shall wait. So yeah, happy Women's Day to everybody. So today, as well as talking about this wine, etc., we are going to have a little mini focus on women in wine. We've done a couple of tastings about women in wine. We've done a podcast about women in wine. Even though it's ironic because we're 2 very masculine men, we're very interested in female-led projects.
Yes.
But more on that later. First things first, we need to talk about a prize. Because someone's going to be the lucky winner of this bad boy, there we go, the Magnum of Detrás la Casa Sera. So,
Give me the names and I will arrange in 1 second.
let me just pass the sorteo names. This is
Who is going to be the winner?
so there you go.
Thank you.
Now, the red wine of this month is a Magnum. Shortly, we'll show you the prize for the current month, which is going to be a bottle of wine and a visit to a winery. More on that when we can start moving again, of course. But yes, so this month, let me show you the bottle again. We actually had quite a busy month of people phoning in. So yes, to win these prizes, as some of you may know, to win this one, we'll find out, to win the next month's one, all people needed to do was to take a photo of their wine tasting, preferably of the bottle, maybe with us in the background on the TV. If we saw it, because obviously we had to see it, if you hashtagged us, we would take the name, put it down in a list, and then, as we are doing now, we do a little lottery at random on Roque's little machine, and we find out who's
here
the
we
one.
are.
So who's the winner?
The winner is
Dun, 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 dun.
Lorena.
Lorena won again. That's her second win, I think.
Oh my God, Lorena, stop drinking, man. Woman.
I feel really bad for Craig, because Craig actually was the highest number of posts. But hey guys, that's why we play the lottery.
Oh yes. Sometimes you win, sometimes you don't. This is life.
So Lorena, whenever you want, well probably next Thursday, because she comes to our tastings, come pick this up. Now, what's the prize for next month?
Well, it happens. Luke and I, sometimes we differ about the wines we like, but sometimes we do agree about what we like. And there is a very special wine from my homeland, from Jumilla, that it's for us one of the best wines of the country. It belongs to a little winery that only makes 2 wines. The super one now is over. There are no more in the shop.
Yeah, it's pretty sad. It's like a phoenix dying. It will come back.
And the other one is more common, but it happens that this wine is stock out around this month, March.
And the lady who brings it's like, we don't have much left.
And we will not receive it again until November. So we have decided this is the last chance for converting our favorite wine into the prize. It's Clio. So this bottle of beautiful wine, if you don't know it, you don't know anything.
This is a symphony of a wine. A big, dark, 16% alcohol, broody Mediterranean beast. Roque and I, when we do our blind tastings with our little wine club, drinking parties, we have an expression which is, especially if it's French, when we do foreign wines, we always go, it's not quite Clio, because we did one which was 50 euros on French wines, and this is in almost 40, it's a bit cheaper.
38
or something.
38, 39, yeah.
And we were just like, this is the, for me, the price point where Spain is unbeatable. So you can win this. Also, an extra added bonus, a winery we did last month has given us...
Somos. Do you remember Somos? We had the Gewürztraminer from them 2-3 boxes ago. Well, they have give us an invitation to visit their winery.
And it's one of the coolest frickin' space age wineries you've ever seen. And I have another emotional soft spot, because when I had to cancel my Christmas, on the evening of the 24th, I was drinking the Syrah from Somos, and it is a beautiful wine.
Yes.
So
someone chose those wines. Someone who is here looking at you right now.
My soul.
Next.
Closed argument. So yes, if you want to win these, like I said, photo on the internet, any social media. If we see it, you put your name down.
And this sexy bottle of Clio plus the invitation to visit Somos Winery will be yours.
So, with no further ado, it's Women's Day, and we're drinking a wine made by a woman, Cristina. Great name is Cristina Rodriguez Vicente.
That is a name.
That's a hell of a name. But before we get into that, let me show you the bottle.
Well, it's incredible how many women there are behind wines.
It's great.
It's maybe, from an amateur point of view, when you get into the world of wine, you can easily imagine this is a macho world. That behind big wines there are like boring men, men with a lot of money. But it happens there's a lot of women with such a good taste making wine.
I thought you were going to say, there's actually a lot of women with boring wines.
With such a good taste making wine that we have to admit Spanish wine is Spanish wine because of women. Nowadays, it's because of women. I don't know.
Sorry, breathe. I've got a list here.
I'm gonna.
Do you want to do this now?
Yes, if you want, please.
One of the 5 masters of wine in Spain, Almudena.
Oh,
Need I
okay.
say more? We've got Rueda, the most influential, powerful white wine region, is run by Carmen San Martin. Boom.
The Rueda DO, the denominación de
Yeah,
origen
yeah.
Rueda,
You may have heard of a small winery.
the president of the Consejo
Yeah,
Regulador, I
like,
guess.
yeah, boom. You may have heard of a small winery called Raventos and Cordonier. That's run by Mar Raventos. There's loads of people in Jerez.
Have you ever heard about a winery called Vega Sicilia?
Vegas is, I think so.
It's around, the wine is made by a woman.
Also, and I didn't know this, Marqués de Murrieta is Maria Vargas.
Yes,
Another one?
and Las Moradas de San Martín,
Yeah.
and Arrayán, and
Señorans is also.
I mean, it's incredible.
We had last month Kodaks, Martin
Yes,
Kodaks, Katia
exactly.
Alvarez. There's women everywhere, which is great. But again,
My second cousin, Rosana.
I
Rosana Madrid.
forgot to put Rosana on the list. And of course, the most important,
She will never forgive
I
you
know.
for that.
the most important of all, and she wrote the book my laptop is sitting on.
Jancis Robinson.
My hero. Yeah. So today, we kind of thought to toast women in wine by a woman. But before all of that, get your damn sheets out, because it's time to drink.
Yes. Well, I hope it's probably chilled, your wine. But anyway, this is not a bottle that probably you will not finish at once. It's a wine that maybe should be, or at least you have a lot of people at home right now. But if you are in one or two people, probably you will finish in two, 3 times. Well, you could finish in
I was like,
in
what
one
kind of people?
in one sip.
Well, first things first. Cheers, Mr. Madrid.
First,
Okay, so it's lovely. It's good.
I like it. This is a good wine.
So
Well, let's start with the tasting sheet. Wine, M de Alejandría, M of Alexandria. Why this name? Why this name, Le Darakat? Because no, it's not. Probably it's not that obvious for our viewers.
So again, I will talk to you about grapes in a minute, but there's a specific grape here called Moscatel, but it is made with Moscatel de Alejandría, which is the type of the grape.
M comes from the variety Moscatel.
And also M for mujeres.
Mujeres de Alejandría, Egyptian women.
Egyptian women?
Look, Darakat, are you trying to tell us something?
Don't search my internet history.
Vintage.
2019, this is the 2019 one, and you and I are drinking bottle number 1,303 of only 2,900 bottles.
That's a very small production.
Very small, one plot of land wine, yeah. 1.5 hectares, that's what they have.
Grapes, Moscatel de Alejandría.
Very important if you're
100%?
at home. 100%. So if you are at home, please do, and if you have these sheets or you're interested in this kind of wine, Moscatel de Alejandría. It's very, very important, as I will explain later.
The other famous Moscat I know is Moscatel de Grano Menudo.
Which in
And
French.
the other one could be Moscatel Blanca, I have heard about. But I don't know any other more Moscats.
Those are the main two. But there's lots of grapes that are misnamed, like Malvasia. They often use the name Malvasia. But again, more about grapes later.
Alcohol content 13.5, which is
It's pretty good, actually.
It's pretty good
For a sweet wine.
for a sweet wine. And producer, it's
Well, I don't know if the official name is...
I
yes,
think-
Bodega Belda, but by Cristina Rodriguez
Exactly.
Vicente. Because she works with the Belda people.
And the region, it's not linked to any
Yeah.
specific wine region, so this wine should be a vino de mesa.
But it's basically North Alicante
Exactly.
kind of area.
So North Alicante.
Mediterranean.
It's the area of Marina Alta.
Mm-hmm.
Good.
Good stuff. Okay.
I mean, it's the kingdom of Muscat.
Yeah. That sounds cooler in English, actually. The Kingdom of Muscat.
Yeah.
Like Borja is the Aragon is the Imperio de Garnacha.
There is a little sub-kingdom in Malaga, but
Yes, and they use Alejandría for that stuff as well.
yeah. But the Mediterranean one has it's more punchy.
It's definitely a grape I associate with your area of Spain, southeast. Yeah.
So
Color.
so clear, so
Lovely,
light.
clear gold, quite bright. Is it more yellow, more gold, light gold, or sort of more straw yellow. You can see that on the. It's a very attractive colour.
It's
quite pale still, I think. But yeah, nice and clean. Clear.
nice and clean. And aromas, super intense. It's very. I mean, the intensity of the aroma is 5 stars. Is not enough to describe the intensity.
Jasmine, and honeysuckle. Really floral. There's that lovely muscatel. What about fruits, though?
There is a spice here.
There is, isn't there?
There is a spice, and I'm gonna tell you which one.
It's something like citrusy, but it's not like cítrico. It's not like citrusy, which doesn't make much sense.
No, I don't know if it's it's a spice or my hand.
I don't want to ask.
No, I come directly from the shower. I have.
And you
put
use
some,
Old Spice.
some fun body cream on my.
God, it smells of coconut body cream.
It smells coconut and all the spice.
And also, the thing about Moscatel, it is a famous grape that actually does smell of grapes. So you do get a nice juicy grape in it.
There is a spice there. It's a spice that I use for cooking, but I don't know.
Oh, I forgot to say, Mum, if you're watching, happy Women's Day to you too. Oh my God, what a terrible thing. Just saw Dad's comment. What about Vino Tontonia?
Well, my sister should be there as well.
Eva, yeah.
Eva, happy Women's Day.
And of course Nina as well. All of you. All of you with the right chromosomes. All right.
I don't get what's the spice. Do you get the spice? It's a spice I use for cooking. So,
I was really happy that we were having this today because I had a big weekend, and I was like, if we're having a big heavy red wine, it's going to be difficult for me today. But this is so smooth.
It's very smooth. It's super tasty. Explodes in the mouth.
It's got great acidity though.
Like boom.
Boom. This is not a sweet wine, which is like, there's a great word in Spanish, empalagoso, which I guess we would say like syrupy or sticky.
Yes, for example, the was a couple of the box, the January box, we had that Pedro Jimenez that it was impossible to drink it like as this wine.
Yeah, this one you can easily go, whoops, I finished the bottle.
Yeah,
it's fresh.
And it's not necessarily a dessert wine. It can be.
Jose Arnau, the guy who distributes us this wine, says Tomillo maybe.
Tomillo, yeah, I agree.
I don't agree. No. Hola, Jose.
That's true. It's true.
Yeah, it is. It's a very good wine.
It can be used also as an aperitif.
That's the beautiful thing about this wine, because the acidity. Well, should we talk about the food and wine pairings then?
Well, it's not yet, but
sorry.
It's very long in mouth, persistence, and it's very balanced.
And that acidity is what saves it.
Let's go to the pairing. This is the perfect wine that it could go with any dish.
Full stop. That's the end. Sorry.
Thank you. Any dish you could put some jam or marmalade. Take out the marmalade, take out the jam, and use this wine instead. Drink this wine. For example, foie. Boom. Some cheese.
Cured curado.
That would you put some membrillo on it?
Yeah.
Okay. Instead of membrillo, use this one. Drink it. I mean, try to substitute these dishes where you mix salty and sweet things with this wine.
Also, spicy dishes. This with Asian food would be great. Not. I don't mean like sushi. I mean like Thai curry, or because we often say like cold, fruity, sort of semi-sweet wines is what you want with spicy food. This is gonna be great with that sort of stuff.
You're in one of those moments of your life that you can pair anything with Asian food.
No. Asian food is difficult.
You could pair your morning cereals with sushi.
With Asian. I have my cornflakes with some tuna on top. And eat with chopsticks. It's complicated. But yeah, I think also, of course, with sweet foods, some chocolate, some bizcochos, and that kind of stuff as well.
It's really good. Glass, not necessarily. I mean, if you're gonna go small, it's fine.
But I think-
Maybe it lasts longer.
Yeah. I think a nice, this is a good size because it is quite aromatic.
Yeah.
But yeah, you don't need a huge glass, but a nice, good sized glass is good.
Temperature.
Cold.
Go cold. I would say 10,
8, 9, 10, yeah.
Yeah.
You don't, with sweet wines, when they're warm, they tend to be quite.
And here comes the price. It's not the.
This is why it's good if you buy our boxes, because in our shop it's $23.90.
It's 23. It happens is it has an expensive process in the making that we would talk about that now, and it's not a cheap wine. Normally the thing is that is Eme de Alejandría expensive? Well, it looks like expensive, but if you consider the price of other naturally sweet wines, and you double the amount, because here normally
It's just a small bottle.
exactly
Yeah.
it's a half bottle, you will see it's not that cheap. It's not that expensive. It's really a good bargain. So that's one of the handicaps of this wine, that when you see the price, you say, oh my god, it's very expensive, and you see next to it a bottle of Jorge Ordóñez,
Which is
that's-
13.
which is
but it's
13,
also
but
half
it's
the price, half the
exactly
size. Yeah.
so that's the thing. But yeah, it's really good price, but unfortunately these wines are expensive. For which reason, Luke Daraka?
I was going to say, do you want me to talk about the process a little bit
Yeah.
first? So, this is obviously a sweet wine. Now, there's lots of ways you can make a sweet wine. There are the I'm just losing my English. Sun-dried wines, pacificada ones, like the famous Pedro Jimenez sherries, which are sun-dried grapes, and you make wine out of that. You can have wines which you pick a little bit later, so they kind of over-mature on the vines. You get a high level of sugar in. You can get wines where you start making a white wine or a red wine, and then you stop the fermentation, like they do with port, so the sugars that are left are from the mosto, the juice. You can have botrytis wines. There's lots of different ways. Now, there is a small family of it is quite a small family. So let me just have a quick drink of this. I've got something stuck in my throat. It's not COVID. It's still here, by the way. I can't smell anything. It's coronavirus. They're called ice wines. Now, there are what we could consider true ice wines, and there are what you could consider more or less ice wines. Now, this is an important distinction. So, true ice wines are when you let the grapes go into winter, freeze on the vine. So you need to have places that are very, very cold. Now, there's not many places that actually make this style. Traditionally, where it all started, ice wine, as we call it, started off as Eiswein, which is Eiswein, which is Germany and Austria. That's where the classic world of Eiswein comes from. It's actually the next two big producers of ice wines, modern, are Canada and China. They're big on their ice wines. Great. So you leave them on the vines, they freeze, then you take them back to usually harvesting at night, all this kind of stuff, and you take them back in the middle of winter. I think we have, sorry to interrupt you, but we have
I wasn't on top.
we have some photos of frozen grapes. I think they're one of these ones down here, maybe. So you basically just leave these grapes to freeze. I think it's one of these ones here, yeah. Sorry, this is very, very professional of me. And then what you're left with is, after you press these frozen grapes, the solid stuff remains and the juice flows out, which means you've kind of taken out already some of that liquid, and the juice that leaves is concentrated. Now, that's how you make a normal ice wine. They can be very luscious, very citrusy, tropical, marmalade and jammy, all that kind of stuff. That's usually made with Rieslings and Vidal grapes in America. Now, sorry, Canada. This little photo you can see right now with the fingers, that is the grapes of M de Alejandría. Now that's what a frozen grape looks like. Oh, that's a good photo. This is oh, look at that, that's frozen vines. Now, the way we do things in Spain often is how a lot of other countries do it. Countries which don't really have the possibility of, as you can see in this photo, having frozen vines. I don't know if anyone here has been to Spain. It's pretty nice. So we don't actually have the right climate usually to actually do this, to actually have the grapes freezing in winter on the vine. So instead, they use a process called cryo extraction. Bum, 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 bum. So what they'll do is they'll get the grapes, as you can see here, that, you know, pick the grapes. They're cold, don't get me wrong. And then they transport them in these refrigerated camiones, trucks, to the winery, where they're put into these very powerful cold boxes. And what these big sort of freezers will do is they'll drop the temperature to the required 7 degrees. So as you can see in this photo, they're picking the grapes in normal harvest, right? Nice big juicy grapes.
It doesn't seem the land where it often snows.
Yes, you can see there's that sort of the poor Alicante soil. This is not the land of frozen winter wastelands. Although you can still have some donkeys working there. They pick it all by hand and they have donkeys working out. Look at the poor little donkey. You can't make that donkey work in winter. It'd be cruel. So what you do get, however, is the fact
that is, you know, the name of that donkey?
What?
Alejandrito.
Alejandrito.
M de Alejandrito.
Mula de Alejandrito.
Oh.
So this is the countryside where they're working. So you're going to get these lovely juicy big fruits. So the flavor profile is not the problem. The problem is there's no ice, right? So this cryo extraction mimics what would be happening in nature. So in nature, it would get really cold to -7 and you get frozen grapes. Fine. But if you can't do that, what can you do? You just freeze them. And then, as you've done that, again, you crush them. And then you take out the juice that is being left behind in this press. And that's going to be a wonderfully sweet, a wonderfully concentrated wine, as Roque said, naturally sweet, with which you can make your, what they call in Spain, vino de hielo, ice wine. Now, just to conclude then, there are these two families of ice wine. The natural one, which is left on the vines, which you don't find very often, and they are very expensive as well, and hard to make. And these very rare, new world, old world, but like fake.
I have an idea.
Production. Yeah.
Why don't we let Cristina explain herself?
Explain yourself, Cristina.
Soy Cristina Rodríguez Vicente de M de Alejandría. Estamos en la finca La Alberca, donde crecen las viñas para elaborar nuestro vino. Estamos ubicados en Teulada Moraira, en la provincia de Alicante, en un rincón privilegiado del Mediterráneo. Nuestro proyecto arranca en 2014 con la plantación de 1,5 hectáreas de moscatel de Alejandría. Nuestro proyecto aúna tradición e innovación. Tradición porque la variedad elegida para elaborar nuestro vino es el moscatel de Alejandría, una variedad autóctona y cultivada en la zona desde antaño. E innovación porque el proceso para su elaboración es la congelación de las uvas. De cada vendimia obtenemos una serie limitada y numerada. Actualmente estamos en el mercado con 2.900 botellas de la vendimia 2019. M de Alejandría es un vino dulce que puedes tomar en aperitivo o bien en postre, con dulce, con salado, con quesos, salazones, chocolate, frutas. Tú eliges el maridaje que más te puede gustar. Quiero dar las gracias a Madrid Andárraco y Alicante Delicatessen por elegirnos para formar parte de este pack del mes de marzo y a vosotros por haber elegido M de Alejandría entre estos vinos. Muchas gracias a todos y por vosotros. Salud.
Well, here we are. Thank you very much, Cristina.
It's very sort of mysterious.
I wish we were here. Well, we were today in Alicante. I would love to. The weather must be wonderful. Weather has been
But
very
it
rainy.
was raining there today as well. But yeah, I think
Tomorrow will not.
now we've got another week of sunshine.
Well, here.
Tomorrow and until Sunday, sunshine.
Oh, excellent. I will have some sunbath from our shop window. Through our shop window.
Lovely. So many things to say. Where shall I start? Where do you want to go?
Should we talk a little bit about the region?
Yeah. So
Because I mean, it's not linked to the Dio Alicante, but somehow it could be useful to at
quick
least
recap.
refresh that obviously we are with one of those regions very super exposed to the Mediterranean weather, and actually if we had to explain what Mediterranean weather is, Alicante would be one of the best examples. Mediterranean weather with two styles, more the coast one, or the interior one, a little bit more humid, more dry. More humid, more altitude. And well, from Alicante we have beautiful examples of Monastrell, which is the classic red grape from here. Have we had Monastrell from Alicante in these boxes?
had an Alicante. I think we did.
We had Giro,
yeah.
and we have Merceguera as well. We have had Basus from Utiel Requena.
Have we done Monastrell yet? We must have done. We must have done a Monastrell.
Yeah, we have. We must have. Yes, for sure. Yeah.
I'm not sure if we had 100% Monastrell. Well, anyway.
So
Existential crisis over here.
and a part of the classic white grape of this area is Merceguera, but the next one is Moscatel, and it's the most productive. It's the second most productive grape from the region. But also you can find Macabeo, Chardonnay,
Kinds of things.
Sauvignon Blanc, and other classic grapes from this area.
I think it's Alicante, Valencia are definitely two really interesting regions.
It's wine land.
This really is. It's
It's
like
wine land.
if you wanted to design the perfect Mediterranean wine growing region, those two, they're banging. And that's why Christina is there. I think we've got a photo. We've got a photo of Christina.
For a good reason. I mean, if you draw a line, if you draw the latitude in a map, and you see which other wine regions share the same latitude as Alicante, Murcia, you will see Napa Valley, you will see Sicily, the south of Italy, Greece. So for one reason, this place has good wine, and it is located in the right place.
Well done, Alicante.
Thank you very much.
Now, where should we go next? Where should we do? I think we should. Have you got a photo? Pop that photo up of Christina. I know we saw Christina there. So it is worth quickly mentioning a little bit the project. I had to describe this photo we're going to show you to Jose, and I was like, I only have one photo of Christina, and he was like, which one? I was like, it's her standing next to a very attractive young lady. He's like, I know the one. So that's Christina on the left. I don't know who the girl on the right is. I guess someone who works in the winery or maybe a family member. But anyway, Christina, what I like about Christina, this is the Passion Project. She's there in the village of Teulada, something or other, Maraya or something, Teulada. It was on the map, pretty sure. And she works alongside Dani Cabrera of a wine that we have had called Uvas Cabrera, and Ximo Cabrera, which is Giro.
It's in the northern green part.
Little northeastern village there.
It's there.
So Ximo Cabrera of Giro.
Okay, it's also from here.
Dani Cabrera of Uvas Cabrera, and Daniel Belda, who is it. So she's working with like these little local legends that we've had all of their wines, and this is her passion project. So the Cabrera makes the Moscatel Seco, and Christina's passion is this. She's obsessed with ice wines, and this is her version, so it's kind of cool. And like I say, she has one plot of land, 1.5 hectares. She works it by hand, picked by hand. They've got Alejandría the donkey working there. It's very much, the little area is called Finca La Alberca. It's very much super small production. I mean, this is only wine she makes. This is the epitome of Madrid and Daracot likes small productions.
This is little boy. Her little boy.
All right.
Sorry.
His little boy. Okay, I mean, she identifies as a woman, I think. And she's won various, she's a finalist in like the rural women's.
Her little son.
Ah, little son, that's nice. And she and a lot of the other people around there, like we said, they really work with Moscatel. Moscatel is this generous grape, which maybe, if you will permit me, I will take a couple of minutes to talk about Moscatel as well.
When you mean Moscatel, you mean this thing?
There he is. There she is. Now,
it's one of the... Excuse me, Duke Daracot.
Interrupted me.
Excuse me, Duke Daracot.
Rude.
It's one of the few grapes that you can either eat or make wine with, right?
I mean, you can eat any grape.
Yes.
But yeah, you're right. I put here, arguably the most, useful or versatile grape. Table grape for eating. You can make dry wines, you can make sweet wines, you can make fortified wines, you can make sweet fortified wines and dry fortified wines. You can make raisins for eating. It does everything. When was the last time you ate Tempranillo? Never. Shut up. Moscatel does everything.
But I love to eat Cabernet Sauvignon.
It's so dry. But yeah. So Moscatel Alejandría takes its name, obviously, from Alexandria. So it's probably African or in general somewhere around that part of the Mediterranean origin. It's an ancient grape. This is an old grape. And the problem is the older you go, the more you lose in translation things. So Moscatel à petit grain, or de grano menudo, is arguably the more noble and highly regarded, because the French use it, version. But I was reading about the DNA of Moscatel. Arguably it's the most intact genetically since day one. So Moscatel Alejandría, you're smelling a very old profile of wine.
Am I going to say something probably very stupid, but I don't care?
It's a white wine, yeah.
It tastes grapes.
I said that earlier, yeah. It's the one which actually tastes and smells grapey, which is why I think it's a very pleasing variety. And it's cultivated all over the world, but I think really the Mediterranean is the stronghold. Super aromatic, fruity, floral,
tastes raisins,
raisin,
grapes, yeah.
And it's high in sugar, which is why it's perfect for sweet wines.
And terrible if you're following a diet.
My plan was to diet today because
today was your first day of diet, and now has been ruined by...
I'm drinking a dessert, yeah. Now, we have a question. Shut up. A very useful question, because you may have seen me do this. I have a question from Adrian, who says, what is this fashion?
Well, that's not
What is
extravagant.
this extravagance with these glass tops?
Don't throw it away, by the way.
Yeah, please don't. He says, does it make the wine more expensive, and are they here to stay? Now, they're not a fashion, but they are fashionable. They do make the wine more expensive. Where are you going? Do you want some red wine or something?
Close it.
Oh. Doesn't quite fit.
Oh, yeah. But it closes any bottle. It closes any bottle.
That was a wonderful experiment. I'm glad we shared that with the kids. So, it does make your wine more expensive. Are they here to stay? Yes and no. Now, I've made my list of corks.
Oh!
Because
Are we going to talk about corks?
I would like to quickly talk about corks.
I have my list about corks.
Pronunciation is important on that word. We're going to talk about corks.
Corks.
Corks. Please emphasize the R. Of course, the main cork is natural cork, made from wood, whoop-de-doo. That's perfect, lets the wine breathe, great. Then you have what's called a capped cork, which is what you have on a bottle of old sherry. Or
which is like
port.
half plastic and half cork.
Like a plastic cap and a cork.
Do we have any?
Open? I don't think. Well, Vermouth as well has them. Yes, Mr. Madrid.
This.
This is a capped cork, so you can reseal it. For those of you who don't want to drink a complete bottle of port in one evening, you can reseal it. Vermouth as well. Agglomerated cork. Agglomerated cork. This is the hybrid of natural and synthetic. Most cheap wines will probably have agglomerated cork.
This one
Mm,
could be.
could be. I don't know.
It's too. Could be.
Could be.
This is more real.
Yeah. So this is what you would expect from a real cork. Lots of little. Oh, estates bottle. Good lord. I'm trying to make sure I don't show the name of the winery. Whereas agglomerated cork. This is a good one here. This is a good thing. You can see the difference. There you go. I'm trying to think of a good. Yeah, we go. Perfectly smooth. So agglomerated is
Too smooth. Too smooth for being natural.
never trust anything which is too smooth. This is some synthetic, some natural.
You wouldn't want to end up in jail.
It's usually made from the scraps from making cocktails. Yeah, exactly. Then you have synthetic, which we don't have.
We don't
here
have.
because Spain doesn't really do those things, which is an oil-based plastic cork.
Yes.
They just seem tacky, but
Probably maybe one of our radars is we have that cork, but normally we don't have wines with that cork. Not because we don't want it. It's because it's not that common.
it's actually fine for the wine. Just don't age the wine.
Exactly.
And don't have
So
them lying down.
means it's a wine that should be drunk in the next
2 seconds, 2 minutes.
24 months.
They look horrible though, but you know, whatever.
Especially when they use these electric colors.
Electric orange or
Yeah.
green. Something like that. Then you have the screw top. Very good invention from the New World. The most unromantic. Happy Women's Day, my love. It's not very romantic, but it's very useful, especially if you're going to a park and you don't have an opener. Then we have 2 more. One I think is brilliant. It's called. You know, you have a champagne cork. Have you ever heard of the Zork?
Who's that?
I think we might even have one. A Zork is an amazing contraption. It's a screw top for a bubbly wine.
Oh yes,
think we've had one here, maybe.
we have, yeah.
I think the Fizz, the Frisante's got one.
I think, yeah.
Or maybe that's a normal screw top. We'll just double check if we have a.
Yeah, it's that, but it's here. Well,
That's a Zork.
yeah.
So this one's got a Zork in it. It looks like it's going to be a champagne cork, but it's not. It's a big twisty. So it's a way of sealing and be able to reseal sparkling wines. And then after all of that, we get down to, let me get it, the glass
sorry.
top. Oh.
This is the champagne one, but in the plastic.
Synthetic champagne. That's funny. That's not on my list. I should put it on my list. Then we have the glass tops. Now these are something that does make the wine more expensive. This is called a vino lock. I don't know if you can see that slightly.
Silicon.
Yeah, it's a hermetic seal. It's called a vino lock. It's an inert O-ring. Very, very good. It means when I reseal my bottle, it's hermetically sealed. Nothing's getting through there. So it's a way of kind of keeping it for longer.
Other wines with that.
Yeah.
Maybe this is a classic Goreyu.
So it does make them more expensive. I think they're beautiful. I love that wine. I won't say what it is. I don't think you need that cork for that kind of wine. But it's a choice of the winemaker.
I have 2 or 3 at home, and I find them very useful to close the bottles and leave them later in the fridge.
So obviously Christina is making a premium wine.
Yes.
So it's a nice premium top. And as Rocky said, maybe you won't drink all of this in one go, so you can hermetically reseal it, and then it's probably good to go tomorrow.
There are some close to these inventions, but that you can vacuum
The vacuum, that's fantastic.
and remove the air as much as possible, so you extend the life.
That's the best gadget. €10 for 4 little tops and a vacuum. It's the best wine gadget there is. If you're the type of person who doesn't finish their wine, if you're one of them, buy a vacuum.
Yeah.
So yes, that's probably a very extensive answer to Adrian's question, and he didn't want to so much.
Well, let me check because
Let me check Instagram.
we need to go. Maybe.
Wow, we've been here for 50 minutes. It's pretty good. A good way to start March. Let me see if there's any final questions from our Instagram followers.
The weather is horrible at the moment. Big thunderstorms. So, well, I don't want to be in Alicante right now.
Lourdes.
Lourdes, hello.
Si lo pones uno no se sale el vino.
That's true. That's a very good advantage of this top, because actually sometimes the cork doesn't seal properly the bottle, and if you leave it in a horizontal, you can find a nice charco de vino in your
nice little
fridge
pool of booze
next day.
Oh my gosh, I have so many of these little glass toppers. It's embarrassing.
Gas, too much. Nina,
that's why we like you, Nina.
sell them. I don't know, eBay.
Or do an art installation with them.
What else?
That's basically it. Thank you very much to Christina and to Jose. So we get a lot of these little goodies from a guy called Jose Arnau.
Jose Arnau is the person. Jose Arnau is the one of our favorite distributors.
I don't like him.
Well, actually, we don't like him,
He's
but
awful.
anyway,
Oh,
he has good wine, and he is the person behind the effort of having this wine today here. This is a very expensive wine for our boxes, and it has been a great job of Cristina, of course, the big effort, and Jose Arnau. Yes, we love you too.
You're a ridiculous man. Yeah, I think without him and Christina, we would never be able to get this in the box.
Yeah.
So thanks to them for consiguiéndonos una oferta, getting us a special offer. We can manage to get this wine to you. And also, if you want to come and try some of the lovely foods from Alicante, we have those as well.
Exactly. And what else?
Well, I think we'll probably leave you soon. If you have enjoyed this, please give our video a like. Please subscribe.
No. Give us the like right now. Don't leave it for tomorrow. Tomorrow is too late. Tomorrow you will not be back.
Isn't that a James Bond film? James Bond, tomorrow is too late.
Tomorrow is too late for that like. The moment of the like is right now, in front of us.
While they do that, what's the next tasting? I forget.
Next tasting is going to be on Wednesday, and it's going to be El Vínculo.
Ooh,
we are going to visit for the first time this month the La Mancha region.
So we're going to have a lot of sort of fun Spanish stereotypes going on, and get something heavy. It's if I remember, it's a 15.5% Manchegan Tempranillo. So it's going to be a nice kick in the face for a Wednesday evening.
Yes, and bring your Quixote copies, your donkeys.
Because we will be referring to the book during the tasting.
And your windmills. Windmills?
Windmills, yeah.
Windmills.
Well, bring your wine mills.
Well, thank you very much for being there.
Cheers, everyone.
Again, happy Women's Day.
Yeah.
And see you on Wednesday.
See you on Wednesday.
Cheers.
Salud.